I'm making this announcement in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, laws of the state of New Jersey. The Borough Clerk is prepared to schedule the meetings of the governing body of the Borough of Kenilworth for the year 2021. The Borough Clerk has posted a true copy of the schedule on the bulletin board located up front entrance of Borough Hall, and has mailed true copies of the schedule to the local source, the Star Ledger, and the Home News Tribune, and is maintaining a copy of the schedule in her office during the year 2021. During the public health emergency caused by coronavirus, the Borough Council will continue to meet on their regularly scheduled meeting dates at 6 p.m. The council meeting will continue to commence as soon as possible after the work session. Accordingly, the notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied in regard to this meeting. Please stand for the salute to the flag.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Cesare?
Here.
Councilman David?
Here.
Councilman Finistrella?
Here.
Councilman Laudati?
Here.
Councilman Pentz?
Here.
And Councilman Puglisi.
Here.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the minutes of work session of June 23rd, July 14th, and the council meetings of July 14th, 2021?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Communications were received from the New Jersey State League of Municipalities, and an invitation was also received from the Union County Commissioners for the county's 9/11 service.
Okay, is there a motion to accept communications and reports?
I'll make the motion. A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Kenilworth currently has a total of 1,122 COVID-19 cases that have been reported to the health department. With of these, 48 cases falling within the past 30 days and 10 new cases in the past 7 days. Virus numbers continue to spike in New Jersey. I continue to urge all residents to follow safety protocols to keep yourself and your family safe. There's a lot on here. There have been a lot of rumors being intentionally spread in Kenilworth, in our town, about defunding the police. This administration and myself have always supported the police department and will continue to do so. No such thing will happen in Kenilworth. This is a scare tactic being used for political reasons. I know there are concerns about school-aged children coming into the borough due to proposed development. With 40 years of history, this has not been proven to be the case. In fact, studies show that they're occupied mostly by young professionals with minimal school-aged children. Sadly, misinformation continues to be fed to our residents, and I urge anyone to reach out to me if they have any questions or concerns. I want to take this time, I've done this on Tap Into Kenilworth on social media, but I would like to address this flyer that was mailed. And I'm addressing it because there have been calls to Borough Hall regarding this mailing. I take my oath of office very seriously. I represent the people of Kenilworth to the best of my ability.
I'm sorry, what mail?
And take my
I don't know.
tax on my character
What
and
mail are you talking
integrity
about?
personally. The term captured government is ridiculous and backed with zero facts. What I am captured by is doing the best job I can to serve the community that I love. How disappointing it was to come home and find a flyer filled with political propaganda and lies, attempting to divide while we are working to create a bipartisanship in the borough. I will respond to the residents of Kenilworth. To my disappointment of Mr. John Berry, there is nothing like a few facts to ruin a good story. Here are the facts. There will not be a tenement building built in Kenilworth, regardless of how many times this is said. It is not true. Also, according to the New Jersey Election Enforcement Commission, the Kenilworth Republicans raised $0 in 2020. However, they managed to mail 3 flyers to residents of Kenilworth, put large signs up in the borough, and held several fundraisers while raising $0. Who printed the flyers? Who paid to mail them? If this was all done for free, by who and why? No one made a campaign donation to their 2020 campaign. Merck is appealing their taxes. This is one truth in the recent mailing. This is not in the control of the governing body. It's their right to do so. The borough has hired a highly credited attorney to represent Kenilworth's best interests in this appeal. The tax increase for the Borough of Kenilworth for the 2021 is 1.68%. Due to the hard work of Councilman Laudati and the Finance Committee, salaries, cost of products, pension contributions, utilities, health insurance, municipal insurance, to name a few, increase every year. Interesting that there is concern with rising taxes, yet opposition in bringing additional revenue to help offset the tax burden. Municipal taxes have increased on average less than 2% since 2016. To see our long-standing professionals in Kenilworth being taxed is absolutely disheartening and disgraceful. Harbor Consultants currently represents 15 municipalities, with 8 of those in Union County. Municipalities controlled by both Republicans and Democrats. Mike Mistretta is a professional planner for Harbor Consultants who has worked with over 17 municipalities in Union, Middlesex, Bergen, Morris, Camden, and Sussex counties. He is considered an expert in both the Union County and Bergen County courts on affordable housing. It is in Kenilworth's best interest to control the development projects in the borough and not allow these decisions to be made by the courts. Harbor Consultants was also appointed to the Borough of Kenilworth prior to the Democrats having control. I'm not claiming to understand what possible motivation there could be to serving up political propaganda and misleading information to the people of Kenilworth. I personally, along with the borough CFO, corrected Mr. Barry at the previous council meeting that the tax increase was not 4.8%. The bill that was sent was estimated due to the fact that the borough had not completed the 2021 budget, as we were waiting to see what amount of funds the borough would receive from the CARES Act. Mr. Barry fails to acknowledge that in 2016, the municipal taxes actually decreased from the previous year. I will not further engage Mr. Barry at this time, and my commitment and dedication is to the people of Kenilworth. Perhaps this Mr. Barry's sensational headlines and ridiculous content are an attempt to grab attention to promote his personal business, which he boldly places several times on the mailing. So, disappointing for sure. I hope everyone was able to make it to our carnival on a good note. Our volunteer fire and rescue department did an amazing job, as they always do. The carnival was a welcome break from the restrictions in the past. It was nice to be together and have fun while supporting the men and women who selflessly serve our community. Also, we continue to enforce cleanup along the abandoned rail line in Kenilworth. The Rails to Trails Committee has been meeting and working on this project. The unused Railway Valley line runs from Roselle Park and continues through Kenilworth, northbound towards Route 22. If converted into Rails to Trails, a linkage could be made into the East Coast Greenway. What is unused now could become an asset to Kenilworth and a further support to economic vitality and real estate values. These trails are highly valued in communities which have seen them realized, creating parkland space for recreation. We'll be continuing to work on that. That's all I have. Finance report. Councilman Laudati.
A couple of issues. The first one is PTR. Our residents who qualify to PTR is property tax relief. Our residents who qualified have received the PTR from the state. The numbers are amazing. 580 households in Kenilworth received the tax relief for a total of $290,268 in relief. A subject we often don't talk about is our bond rating. Let me inform you of the good news. Moody's Financial, which is the top-rated service in the country, rates us at AA2. That is the second highest rating available. What this means is that Kenilworth's ability to borrow money for major projects really depends on that rating. So we have a good rating and we'd be able to favorably borrow. Because of the fiscal health of Kenilworth, the cost to our residents is lessened. Another thing we have is, which really hits the finance, is our census data came in, and we are up to 8,100 people from 79. What that means is federal money is judged based on those numbers. So Kenilworth should receive more money this year. I don't know how much more. I gotta see what happens with that $3.5 trillion budget that was just passed by Congress, not the Senate yet. Next in line is something that we've been together with the Finance Committee and the CFO. The 2021 budget represents an increase of $71.76 for the average household, assessed at $184,400 for municipal taxes. The budget ranks as the 8th lowest increase of our 22 years, as shown in a chart. And I have all the numbers sitting here. If anybody has any questions, I'm sure Ken Blum and myself can answer them. We have all the data that'll show you who we paid, where our debt is, where our revenue is, and what we're charging in taxes. So I said it today at Kenilworth, what a great job Ken Blum did for our town. It's amazing. He took 2 years, consolidated it into 8 months, and made it successful so far. And we'll find out tonight. Thank you, Ken. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Laudati. Department of Public Works, Councilman David.
Thank you, Mayor. 2 things. Superintendent would like to congratulate Dave Kokai, DPW Employee of the Month for July 2021. Residents need to be reminded that the DPW yard is open the first Saturday of each month for recycling drop-off. For the month of September, though, they will be open for recycling on the 3rd Saturday, September 18th. The reason for this is that September 4th is Labor Day weekend and September 11th is Patriot Day. October will go back to the first Saturday, so that would be October 2nd. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Councilman David. Department of Public Safety, Councilwoman Ciceri.
Thank you, Mayor. I received Chief Seuss's August report for the for the police department, Kenilworth Police Department, who responded to 1,101 calls for the service of, and 209.11 calls for the month of July. Hours of overtime was about 728.5, and 16 hours of training along with 31 sick days for the month. Now, on July 22nd, Kenilworth police officers engaged a stolen white Porsche Cayenne whose occupants attempted to break into several motor vehicles in town, including a police department detective bureau car. The vehicle is believed to be part of a stolen vehicle ring that has been operating in surrounding towns, including Cranford, Westville, Roselle Park, Fanwood, and Scotch Plains. Also, a Range Rover was stolen out of a resident's driveway on North 20th Street earlier in that night. And our Kenilworth detectives were able to pull fingerprints from that one and are actively investigating, I can't talk tonight, the prints on that. Finally, National Night Out was held on August 3rd from 6 to 8 in the municipal lot of the Kenilworth Police Department headquarters. We had a tremendous turnout of several hundred people who were able to enjoy free ice cream and interact with a dozen members of the KPD Community-Oriented Police Unit, as well as members of the Fire Department, Rescue Squad, Union County Sheriff's Department, and Union County Prosecutor's Office. The Kenilworth Police Department also unveiled our new drone program, which gave demonstrations to the public under the command of Captain Dan Sims and Lieutenant Robert Cox. Chief Seuss would like to personally acknowledge and thank Rich Bertone and Tony Giordano for their generous donation, which enabled the KPD to purchase the drone and training at no cost to the department. The borough is blessed to have people like Rich and Tony who always go above and beyond whenever there is a need. Thank you again for your support and friendship. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman Ciceri. Planning and Zoning, Councilman Finistrella.
Thank you, Mayor. The July construction report is as follows. Building fees, $4,526. Trust estate fees, $470. And miscellaneous fees, $1,220, for a total of $6,216. The August meeting planning and zoning was canceled. The next meeting is scheduled for September 9th. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Finistrella. Recreation and Fire, Councilman Pentz.
Thank you, Mayor. Recreation, the Summer Parks program was a great success. They matched their numbers out every week. All the family and participants were very happy with the program. The August movie was canceled due to a weather issue. They will have a replay for October and December by having 2 movies. Then I was informed that the rec floor has been being replaced on Monday, which is an added feature for the rec center. Fire report, 106 total calls, 34 calls for rescue squad, and 5 of mutual aids. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman Pentz. Health, Education, and Human Services, Councilman Puglisi.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Excuse me. From the library wishes to thank everyone who attended their summer musical celebration and helped make it a success. That was placed on August 9th with DJ Charlie O. Everyone had a fun-filled time, interactive music celebration, along with raffles, prizes, and giveaways. Also, the Kenilworth Yarnies were busy crocheting and knitting hats. And what they did with these hats, and credit goes to the Yarnies for this, is that they donated these to the Warmth for Warriors project, which is for military personnel, both active and retired. But the Kenilworth Yarnies don't stop there. They are busy, once again, crocheting and knitting. And this time, it's for a program called #HatNotHate. So they'll be crocheting and knitting some hats for that program. And again, kudos go out to them for their time and efforts. If you're interested in joining Kenilworth Yarnies, they meet on Thursday afternoons in the library's activity room, and that goes from 2 to 4. Anyone interested can visit the Borough website or call the Borough at 276, the Borough, Library Borough, 276-2451. And let's see what else. Oh, in addition, the Kenilworth Paper Pals have been creating cards, tags, molding paper flowers, and other fun paper creations. And that they meet on Tuesday afternoons, also in the library's activity room, and that goes from 2 to 4. Again, you can visit the Kenilworth website, Kenilworth Library website, for further information. In addition, there will be a program called the Library will be called a Smell, Taste, and Your Brain program, and that'll be conducted via Zoom, and that's going to be on Thursday, September 2nd at 9 p.m., and that's being presented by Dr. Lindsay Zarnecki of SUNY Stony Brook, and he is in the neurobiology department. Dr. Zarnecki will be discussing how our brains transform tastes in our mouths and odors in our noses into pleasant and sometimes not so enjoyable perceptions of the environment. Again, that's September at 6 p.m., September 2nd at 6 p.m., and that's via Zoom. Contact the library or visit the website for further information. There will also be a grab-and-go back-to-school craft for children ages 4 to 9. Again, this is just when you stop by the, as it sounds, grab-and-go. You grab the craft, it comes in a little packet with instructions, and you can come home and go home and make the craft. And that program will begin on August 30th while supplies last. There are multiple other programs that I could spout here, but again, they had different age groups, different days of the week. I'm sure you could find something for your child or for yourself. All you have to do is visit the library's website. Now, if you're curious as to the library hours, they are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Fridays. They're open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And Thursdays is their late night, and that goes from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Now, if you're worried about the COVID and the variants and what have you, they're still having curbside pickup if you're interested. So obviously you would have to make arrangements in advance for that. And Marco, if you could just zoom in right here. This is a color copy of the Yarnies hats that were donated to the veterans and the active personnel in the military. So again, you can see there's a there's a long line of hats and rows of hats in there again. And thank them for their efforts. From the Health Department, I do have a little update. The blood drive that took place on August 2nd at the Senior Center was a success. They collected 31 pints of blood, and that was organized with the Health Department with the help of the American Red Cross, and kudos goes out to everybody who helped make that a success. I guess as some of you may have heard, the governor has required masks in schools. Without getting too political about it, it's something that the governor has required. I believe the Kenilworth Board of Education at first was going to pass a resolution and make it optional, but Trenton has decided otherwise. So I just want to add one more thing, actually two more things, I'm sorry. If you visit the Kenilworth website and you click under the Board of Health, you can see the Board of Health monthly agenda flyer, which has all their, it has loads of information, so it has the happenings within the Board of Health, but also outside the Board of Health. Throughout the state, and actually some tidbits on how to stay clean and safe during the COVID environment. And lastly, there's also, if you click on the seniors portion of the Borough website, there's also a seniors calendar. Again, maybe if you know a senior that's maybe not so computer literate, you can go on yourself, or even if you are a senior, and you can go on the website. There's loads of information and classes from bowling to Zumba, to line dancing. So, it's sometimes seniors don't have the opportunity to get out for one reason or another. So, if you know any senior that will be interested in these programs, just point them in that right direction. And finally, that's all I have.
Okay, I'm going to add to that report just a little bit. I believe what's going on in the school is important to our community. Summer school programs were successful and completed. College camps, seminars, and workshops are occurring and scheduled during the month of August 2021. All summer reading lists and assignments are on the Kenilworth Public School website. And as the councilman reported, that the school did pass in July 2021 a resolution to make masks optional, but then after the governor implemented the executive order, they're now requiring the masks to be worn. The first day of school is Wednesday, September 8th for full day in-person instruction. No virtual option will be available given to students. However, there will be a virtual option given to students who must quarantine on a case-to-case basis. The school is working with local health officials to ensure school safety, monitor health data, and follow all safety protocols are being met. The Board of Education met on August 9th, and they have another meeting on August 30th, 2021. The monthly meetings are available on the YouTube channel, along with the Board of Ed monthly bulletin. And there's also a road forward plan PowerPoint that can be found on the school website. Okay, thank you. Okay, next for council consideration is the...
Mayor, if I may?
Oh, yes.
There was discussion at the work session earlier, and there was discussion about bifurcating vendor number 01157 in the amount of $2,019.56 from the bills list. Is there a motion?
Yes, thank you, Laura. I'd like to make a motion to remove from the bill list the one item from Hummel mailings. That was approximately $2,000 and change. I'd like to have that voted on individually, with the remaining items listed to be voted on a separate resolution.
Well, you've put two together there. I think that's the first, Councilman, I think you're making the motion, but we're all calling for lack of a the bifurcation. That's the sole issue right now before the governing body. How you will vote on the budget, the rest of the budget, I think, is secondary.
Understood, but I was just trying to... All right, that's fine. I'll make a
5
motion for the
minutes,
bifurcation of the bill list.
Okay.
For removal from the one item from the item payable to Hummel Mailings.
We'll vote no on that.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Cesari?
No.
Councilman David?
All right, I need to clarify this a little bit. Is this what we talked about earlier today?
Yes, Councilman.
This is the removal of the one bill from the bills
One
list.
bill.
Yes.
And,
You can be cute yourself.
Just to the letter.
right, so easy about that. I'll say, yeah, we can remove that. Wait, hold on. Now, so if we remove it, then we got to vote on it to pay it
Correct.
Yes,
again.
separately.
All right, so I'll okay to remove it.
Okay, that's one no, one yes.
Councilman Finistrella?
Yes.
Councilman Laudati?
Yes.
Councilman Pentz?
Yes.
And Councilman Puglisi?
Yes.
You have one nay, Mayor. The motion passes. So next up would be the consent agenda with the removal of vendor 01157 in the amount of $2,019.56.
Except, Madam Clerk, that's a separate vote. We've taken...
Correct, no, I'm just voting on just the consent agenda with the removal
Okay,
of that one,
okay.
as
Okay, so-
previously stated.
I have no problem consent, making that motion, but as to item 10, I should have brought this up earlier. Item 10 is on the consent agenda for the appointing of a redevelopment. This is the agenda that I had.
Correct.
So I don't know who the,
Council, I have requested an executive session just to discuss that prospective appointment. And as you can see, there's no name in here, so you can't vote to appoint nobody to a position. There's no name here, there's nobody appointed to it.
so that item's going to be removed?
Well, I
Number
would-
10, I mean, because we're...
I just think it's an oversight. I think it's for executive session. It shouldn't be on this list because you can't appoint.
Understood. Yeah, that's what makes sense.
Or you're appropriating money for somebody.
No,
to be
we're not
next.
doing anything to it. I'll have some comments in executive session, but you know what I'm saying. I don't have to-
I understood. So there's really not going to be an appointing. It's just, all right. So I'll make that motion for the approval of the consent agenda as
1 through
modified.
9.
It's the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Come on, guys.
Councilwoman Cesari?
Yes.
Councilman David?
Yes.
Councilman Finistrella?
Yes.
Councilman Laudati?
Yes.
Councilman Pentz?
Yes.
And Councilman Puglisi?
Yes.
Now, in regards to the first motion that was on the floor regarding the bifurcation of the Hummel bill,
Yes, I would like to make a motion just simply to vote on that one item from Hummel Mailings. I make a motion to, well, deny it, actually. Well, I guess you guys have to make the motion.
You guys, someone...
Someone else has to make the motion. You guys.
Make a motion. Excuse me, just to clarify what Mr. Puglisi just said, pending before the governing body now is that singular payment. And as Mr. Puglisi says accurately, except for the you guys, somebody has to make a motion, if they so desire, in their wisdom, to pay that singular bill. That requires a motion, a second, and a vote.
All right, I make a motion, we pay the bill.
I second it.
Okay.
Councilwoman Cesari?
Yes.
Councilman David?
Yes.
Councilman Finistrella?
No.
Councilman Laudati?
Yes.
Councilman Pentz?
No.
Councilman Puglisi?
No.
Mayor?
Yes. I just want to explain that this payment, this bill, is for the letter that was sent from my office to the residents explaining the proposed redevelopment.
And I objected to it because, in my
Okay.
opinion, it had opinions,
Well-
and it was incorrect at some
Okay.
points. So
Point of
it's
order.
political in
Yeah,
nature.
Point of order.
Let's go.
We just approved the payment of that bill to a
Correct.
vendor that we owed
Okay,
money
we're
to.
moving on.
Not that we approved.
Okay, we're moving on, Gerry.
So,
Move on, it's over.
I agree with
no,
Councilman.
I have a right to do a point
Councilman
of order.
Councilman David's a wise man.
I think so, once in a while.
Okay, you're up, Laura.
The next up, we have 3 ordinances for public hearing. The first one up is 2021-11, an ordinance of the Borough of Kenilworth amending the existing Chapter 75 CATS, establishing Section 16 feral population management within the Borough of Kenilworth.
Okay, the purpose of this ordinance is to establish a program for the managed care of feral cats in the Borough of Kenilworth. Is there a motion to open the floor to public discussion for this ordinance 2021-11 only?
I'll make it.
So moved.
Puglisi
second?
first, Laudati second.
Yeah.
Okay, does anyone have anything to say about this ordinance and this ordinance only? Okay. If there's no discussion, is there a motion to close the floor for public discussion on this ordinance only?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2021-11 for adoption?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Be it hereby resolved that ordinance 2021-11, entitled an ordinance of the Borough of Kenilworth amending the existing Chapter 75 CATS, establishing Section 16 feral population management within the Borough of Kenilworth, was introduced and approved on first reading at the regular meeting of the Borough Council on July 14, 2021, and approved for final passage at the regular meeting of the Borough Council on August 25th, 2021, after all persons interested were given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance in accordance with law. Councilman Cesari?
Yes.
Councilman David?
Yes.
Councilman Finistrella?
Yes.
Councilman Laudati?
Yes.
Councilman
Yes.
Pentz? And Councilman Puglisi?
Yes.
The next ordinance I have up is 2021-12, an ordinance amending Chapter 15 Departmental Structures and Chapter 48 Traffic Bureau of the Code of Borough of Kenilworth.
Okay, the purpose of this ordinance is to amend Chapter 15, Departmental Structures, and Chapter 48, Traffic Bureau, in accordance with current practices and policies of the Kenilworth Police Department. Is there a motion to open the floor for public discussion on this ordinance only?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, does anyone have anything to say from this ordinance or this ordinance only? Please step forward and state your name and address. Okay, there being no discussion, is there a motion to close the floor for public discussion on this ordinance only?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, is there a motion to approve ordinance 2021-12 for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Cesari?
Yes.
Councilman David?
Yes.
Councilman Finistrella?
Yes.
Councilman Laudati?
Yes.
Councilman Pentz?
Yes.
And Councilman Puglisi?
Yes.
Be it hereby resolved that ordinance 2021-12, entitled an ordinance amending Chapter 15 Departmental Structures and Chapter 48 Traffic Bureau of the Code of the Borough of Kenilworth, was introduced and approved on first reading at the regular meeting of the Borough Council on July 14th, and approved for final passage at the regular meeting of the Borough Council of August 25th, 2021, after all persons interested were given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance in accordance with law. The next one up is 2021-13, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and establish a cap bank pursuant to NJSA 48:4-45.14.
Okay, the purpose of this ordinance is if you spend less than the state permits you to spend, this ordinance allows you to bank the difference for 3 years. Is there a motion to open the floor for public discussion on ordinance 2021-13 only?
So moved.
Second.
Does anyone have anything to say about this ordinance and this ordinance only? Please come forward, state your name and address. Okay, seeing no one, is there a motion to close the floor for public discussion on this ordinance only?
So moved.
Second.
Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2021-13 for adoption?
Motion.
Second.
Be it hereby resolved that ordinance 2021-13, entitled an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank pursuant to NJSA 48:4-45.14, was introduced and approved on first reading at the regular meeting of the Borough Council on July 14, 2021, and approved for final passage at the regular meeting of the Borough Council August 25, 2021, after all persons interested were given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance in accordance with law. Councilwoman Cesari?
Yes.
Councilman David?
Yes.
Councilman Finistrella?
Yes.
Councilman Laudati?
Yes.
Councilman Pentz?
Yes.
And Councilman Puglisi?
Yes.
Okay, next we have the adoption of the 2021 proposed budget. The municipal budget represents an increase of 2.53%, $71.76 for the average assessed residential home, and the overall tax increase is 1.68%. I'd like a motion to open the floor for public discussion on the 2021 municipal budget only.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does anyone have anything to say about this municipal budget? Okay.
Yeah, John Berry, 417 North 15th Street. Actually, I've got questions on budget items. There are 5, 6 of them. I mean, and they're pretty quick questions, nothing major. The PERS and PFRS in seat 19 went up quite a bit for, well, let's say PFRS. It went to 933,448 from 803,933. Is that the state mandated amount?
Sure is.
Yes.
Okay. Is there any, so this is a bill that came a year ago, now you're paying it now. Has the state ever sent a second bill or a retro bill or anything? Ever? Like after they send the first bill, do they ever send another bill?
I think when you finish up, I'll have our CFO come up and answer your
Going out.
questions.
I mean, it'd be easier if he answered right away, because they're like quick
Go ahead,
questions.
Ken.
Usually it's just the one bill. The only time you'll get a secondary bill is if there was retros submitted after.
Has that ever happened?
Here, I'm not sure. I've seen it once in Roselle Park.
No, once. Okay. I've seen it a few times in Union County. Now, Social Security, the same seat, 19, it's listed as 257.7, which seems like a ridiculously low number. On the pension records, salary's 4.7 million, and the budget is like 6 million. Is this, and last year was 280 paid, or yeah, 280 paid. Is this what it sounds like, 7.65% of salaries, or is this 6.2%? Or
No, it's a formula calculation driven on spreadsheets I've done on the salaries, but the police only pay 1.45% of Medicare portion. That's 6.202.
Okay, so it's...
So the police salaries,
1.45.
Social Security is made up of FICA and Medicare.
Right.
That total rate is 7.65%.
Right.
The 6.2% the police officers do not pay.
Oh, no. Oh, okay. You mean you...
Okay, you know what, I think we're not going to hold court up here. If you have detailed, I think you should ask your questions. Our CFO will note them, and then he will get up and answer your questions.
Well, they're quick. That's that.
They're not really that quick, though.
Oh, they're quicker than your statement. Now,
I'm the
legal
mayor.
services, number 13. It says other expenses going to go from 120 to 143. Well, what's that? Why is it showing that for?
That is for the additional tax appeal special attorney that we've appointed.
Oh, for Mercury. Okay. And on the same page, 13, engineering expenses were 150, and on the budget, paid was 79. But according to bills, Harbor Consultant got $300,000 in 2020, and they're going to get about the same this year. Are they anywhere else in the budget, payments to Harbor Consultants?
Sometimes they're charged to capital also for the soft costs.
Oh, so all right. Let's see, last one, zoning enforcement officer. Went from 500 to 20,250 other expenses, and the salary went down 20 to 13. So
Yes.
that changed.
There was, the previous zoning officer went from salary to a contract, and then that was actually replaced with the Township of Union. We did a shared service with them for the zoning officer now.
Oh.
And the salary portion is for the deputy code enforcement officer.
Okay, and the last question is just general. 700,000 CARES Act, whatever, that's not going to be there next year. And you...
Oh, you're talking about the American Rescue Plan
Right.
money?
Yeah, America Cares.
That was only the $422,000, which was our 50% allowance this year. Based on the calculations that the federal government put out, we qualified for all of that to be used as a loss of revenue, and that's what we used.
But next year?
Next year, you're going to get another 50%. We'll have to continue the calculation and see what we can do.
All right, that's all
I do have one question for you, Mr. Berry. I'm not sure what your, you don't have to come back up. Your fascination is with me coming to my home 3 times, masked with glasses on in the past several weeks ago.
I don't even know where your home is.
Well, I have you on video. So, that's it.
Well, you just accused me of stalking. I mean,
I'm not accusing you, I'm just asking, I have you on video coming to my home 3 times.
to your home inside?
To my home. No, ringing the bell with the mask and glasses. Okay,
No, that wasn't me.
okay, maybe the video's wrong.
Can I
Thank
file a
you.
report? Can I file a police report on that?
Maybe it's wrong, it's not you. Thank you.
Well, you did kill in a public session and call me a stalker. I mean, I would like an apology.
I didn't tell you
That
that.
word was never used.
Well, that's what a stalker does.
That word was never used.
Maybe not,
so,
maybe you
know
all
what,
had
the
something nice to
definition's
say.
So you're saying it was me?
Well, I have a video.
All right, let's see the video.
All right, I'm not going to do it now, but I'll show you
No, I'd
after.
like to file a police report.
Okay. Well, you can do that after the meeting.
Go downstairs
You
then.
can go downstairs.
Go downstairs.
That's a good way to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, anyone else from the public?
On the budget.
Oh, sorry, regarding just the budget? Seeing no one, I'd like a motion to close the meeting for public discussion.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve the proposed 2021 municipal budget for adoption?
So moved.
Be it hereby resolved that the attached statements of revenues and appropriations shall constitute the Borough of Kenilworth municipal budget for the calendar year 2021, and be it resolved that said budget was approved for introduction by the governing body of the Borough of Kenilworth on Wednesday, July 14, 2021, pursuant to resolution number 15. Be it further resolved that a summary of said budget was published in the local source and official publication of the Borough of Kenilworth on August 5th, 2021. Therefore, be it resolved that the governing body of the Borough of Kenilworth does hereby approve the following as the budget for the year 2021. The total appropriation is $18,031,108.34. Councilwoman Cesari?
Yes.
Councilman David?
Yes.
Councilman Finistrella?
Yes.
Councilman Laudati?
Yes.
Councilman Pentz?
Yes.
And Councilman Puglisi?
Yes. Bingo.
Okay. Is there a motion to open the floor to the public?
So moved.
I'll second.
Are we going in executive session next time?
Talk about it.
Does anyone else have anything to say for the good and well-being of Kenilworth? Please come forward and state your name and address.
John Zimmerman, 35 North 7th Street.
Hi, John.
Hello. I have a question. People have posed to me. I don't have the answer, so I'm going to give it to you. The question I have is, why don't we live stream our video and live stream it on YouTube? Our work sessions, our council meetings, and our zoning and planning board meetings, like a lot of other towns in Union County do.
I can allow the clerk, I would like the clerk to answer this, but I believe the cost, it's been looked at many times, and the cost involved was tremendous, and that is the reason.
It's cost
saving, yeah.
Just because a lot of people
Yes.
with COVID can't, they
Well,
don't
it
find
is,
out.
we
until
do get it on
after
YouTube
the
as
fact.
quickly as possible. It does happen, as quickly as Marco can get it up. But that's the reason. I mean, it would be nice to live stream them, I agree. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Council.
Good evening.
My name is Rich Paserno, 241 P2 Avenue. I'm up here tonight because I was here a few weeks ago. We were speaking about low-income housing, Section 8 affordable housing. And from that meeting, I've been watching a lot of things going back and forth on the internet, whether it be on 138 or things that I'm hearing in town or posts that I see, actually, I wish Mr. Berry is not. Hey, Mr. Berry. Last week, or not last week, let me stand corrected, the last meeting that I was here, Mr. Berry had a camera, and he actually photographed my best side, and I'll show it to you. He also made...
Holy cow.
You kind of look at this up, right? He also made some comments here that are really not true. There's a lot of ambiguities behind what one says and what one does. So he states, if you read through it, yet the document needs to be updated for a municipality that is 99% developed, according to Planning Board Chairman Rich Pacerno. Mr. Barry puts out information at times that is open-ended, and it looks like myself, the chairman, and the planning board, and the council liaison, who was present at all these meetings, are just going ahead and trying to spend money to create a new master plan. The municipal land use law states that it is a requirement that every 10 years we update our master plan. Now, there's enough of professionals in this room that could object or say, you know what, he's right. It's not because we're throwing money into a fan and watch it chop up. So I wanted to clarify that, Mr. Berry. We're not here just spending money. You also stated that our town is 99% developed and there's no need for it. That's how I read through it. But that, again, is the ambiguities about how you put something out there that leaves senior citizens, people who don't know technology, and Mr. Popolisi so eloquently said. So I wanted to clear that up. There's one other thing, or two other things. There's another site that's called 138, Parkway 138, I don't know. And I watched
Exit
things...
138.
What is it?
Exit 138.
Exit 138. I watch things go back and forth. And because I'm the planning board chairman, I can't comment. Because if I comment, I'll be subject to be bombarded. Everybody will say whatever they want to say. But there is a property next to the school that everybody's saying they're putting 4 businesses downstairs and 4 apartments upstairs, and it's right next to the school, and the planning board approved it. Mr. Finistrella, did we approve anything like that?
Negative.
Did you hear anything about that?
Negative.
Has it been before us?
We haven't even brought it up yet.
He's saying negative. It never happened. We didn't approve it. Please, come to the planning board meetings. Don't listen to what people are saying to stir it up. Every person in Kenilworth has the right to create an application. They have a right to come before us. We have the right to approve or deny. It's never been there. It never happened. Why I'm saying this is because it's stirring up tumbleweed. And you know it flows downhill. And so I don't have to express myself too much more. There was also a statement that said, oh, they keep postponing it. We're not postponing it. If an application comes before us and they are unprepared, we push it back and say you are unprepared. And that's why applications are not heard. Also, we are not in session for August. Right, Mr. Minister?
Correct.
So I just don't get what's happening. It's like a ping pong match. You watch it go back and forth. So I thought it was very important for me to come up here and make that statement because it's a true statement. It's a fact. It's not BS. I please ask you all, at home listening, here in the audience, to please come to our planning board meetings so you can get the facts firsthand, so that you can hear us speak, that you can be part of what's going on in our town. Not what someone else is telling you, not where somebody's putting their hand in your back and tickling you a little bit to say yes, no, or maybe. Have your own thought process. You may not be for the 165 units where they are going to go. You may be for it, but don't create havoc. Don't tell people the ghetto is coming, because the ghetto is not coming. This is our town, and when you do that, you create havoc. You create havoc, right? So we don't want to tell people that the ghetto is coming, because it is not. I would like you all to know that when all of this started, and it was all put in the proper order. There are 15% of set aside affordable housing. Guess who comes first? Mr. Puglisi, you talked about veterans before. We all love our veterans. They come first. Our veterans. I want everybody to know in this room and at home, our veterans come first. Not the ghetto. They're not part of the ghetto. They're part of why we're all standing here today. I urge you all to please come to our planning board meetings. We have a great group. We listen. We're fair. And all I can say is, if you don't become part of it, we have to do it alone. Don't let us do it alone. That's all I have.
And for the record,
Thank
the
you.
meetings are every second Thursday of the month. Next one is September 9th, and then after that, October 14th, and after that, November 11th, and December 9th last.
Excellent. Thank
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Thank you, Mr.
And just for the record,
Pastrana.
I never said the ghetto was coming for Kenilworth.
Okay.
I don't know if that was the implication.
No, that's what happened before when the mayor said something and somebody said, I'm a stalker, and that was never said. And I never said that to you, Mr. Polisi. You could read it back. I never
No,
said that.
I think,
Okay.
I understand what you're saying, but
Yeah.
just for clarification purposes.
Mr. Polisi, I don't think you would say that. Okay? I'm gonna go on the record and say, I don't think you would say that. But other people in this room have, and I don't like it. Because I then live in the ghetto. And I choose to live here in Kenilworth. It's part of my blood now. My family, my kids, my grandkids. So when somebody says Kenilworth is the ghetto, and we're all part of that, I take issue with that.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Pastrana. Okay, does anyone else have anything to say for the good and well-being of Kenilworth? Please come forward and state your name and address.
John Berry, 417 North 15th Street, so I guess this is open comments time. I don't know about the ghetto thing either. It's just a stupid project, and I think it should be discussed. Now, responding to you, and we'll go quickly, a cop spilling out or something. Captured government. You are captured. You're captured by Harbor Consultants, by this, I saw a massive BGIA, which is Gary Tappett. He's been buying people around. Supply Clooney, even the accountants, they're paying $1,200 a year for the last 4 years. And Joe Neary, he put in something. DePaulo Renaud. I mean, all these people, they're buying your flyers. And then the Victory Fund, which is
Everybody
wheeled
takes
from...
donations, everyone that runs for office.
Well, I didn't see...
Well, they didn't report anything. What do you think, they paid for their flyers out of their own pocket?
Who knows?
They didn't report it.
They had zero.
This is for the good and welfare.
Yeah, let's
Kenilworth.
go.
If it's
I'm
not
really,
attended,
you know,
because I'm getting tired of hearing this BS every time.
Yeah, I'm in agreement.
Well, it ain't for mine, it ain't for the rest of the residents.
Then don't charge me taxes. I don't want to pay taxes like 12 other people in this place. And I sent...
All right, enough, all
something.
right, enough, done.
All right, you know what?
Okay. Okay.
Just to make it clear, I am being kicked out. I cannot speak.
No.
All right, does anyone else have anything to say for the good and well-being of Kenilworth? Please come forward, state your name and address. Okay, if there's nothing else to be brought before the public portion, can I have a motion to close the floor to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, does anyone else have anything to add or say for the good and welfare of the borough?
Mayor, at the prior work session meeting, there was discussion about designating the borough attorney to sign a letter for the FAA confirming the borough's favor and use of drones.
I'll make a motion that we allow the police department to use the
Right.
drones.
And I will second that motion.
Thank you, that's all I need.
Okay.
Councilman Cesare?
Yes.
Councilman David?
Yes.
Councilman Finistrella?
Yes.
Councilman Laudati?
Yes.
Councilman Pentz?
Yes.
And Councilman Puglisi? Thank you. Yes, they can sign it.
Look, you do what you want. I think we're talking.
Okay.
Is there going to be an executive
Is
session?
there
or-
executive session?
I'm requesting if you do what you want.
The borough attorney is calling the need for executive session for matters affecting pending or anticipated litigation. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
Motion.
Second.
This will take 5 minutes, gentlemen.
Just take a brief recess for 5 minutes. I'd like to make a motion to close executive session.
So moved.
Okay.
Can't make a motion,
Yeah, we have to-
I make a motion. we-
Oh, what am I saying? Where's the motion? Oh my gosh.
We need a motion.
I haven't had dinner. We need a motion.
I make a motion.
Second.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilman Cesare?
Yes.
Councilman David?
Yes.
Councilman Finistrella?
Yes.
Councilman Laudati?
Yes.
Councilman Pentz?
Yes.
And Councilman Puglisi?
Yes.
We are back in regular session.
Okay. Is there a motion to appoint redevelopment attorney Inglesino Webster, Wiscala and Taylor LLC, 600 Parsippany Road, Suite 204, Parsippany, New Jersey?
I will make a motion to accept their services.
Councilman Cesare?
Yes.
Councilman David?
Yes.
Councilman Finistrella?
Yes.
Councilman Laudati?
Yes.
Councilman Pentz?
Yes.
And Councilman Puglisi?
Yes.
The motion passes.
Okay, excellent. Okay. If there's nothing else to be brought before the council, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Time to go.